Hello Aquarius, this is your September 2nd to September 9th, 2020 reading. Love reading, I should say. And I will. In fact, that's what we're going to do. And I want you to look at this reading a little bit like it's a recipe. Like it's a love recipe. And the cookbook are the cards, right? So we're following the recipe. We're going to see what's going on, okay? That's a fun way to look at this. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. No more jibber jabber at the beginning. So, I'm going to shuffle these cards here for you guys. And we will see what comes up here. I'm going to allow myself to center and find that good place. Alright, so Aquarius, what is your love situation? And I get the Two of Coins. Alright, so when I'm looking at the love situation, when I see this, I'm seeing that it could be a balancing act, and we could be looking at possibly two earth signs, or we could possibly be looking at... See, and I look at this and I'm thinking air and fire, which is really interesting, and I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, it's a psychic impression. I know where it's coming from. But I mean, the air and the fire to me is oddly specific. So some of you will understand that. I don't think most of you will, but some of you definitely will understand that. So I'm seeing someone that's kind of like on a tightrope. We're watching someone who is going through something, and they're sort of trudging along and they're doing it, but they don't know exactly where the path is leading. So the love situation right now, I feel like is kind of confused. If there's not two parties involved, there could actually be a situation of, do I continue something that I'm already involved in that's not a serious relationship, or do I go my own separate way? So I could see that as a possible situation going on here, for sure. But you also could be looking at two earth signs as well, so you could have Taurus, Capricorn, Capricorn, Virgo, Virgo, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Can't remember if I said that one. So, yeah, you could have that kind of situation going on, but that's what I'm seeing right now. So let's look at these other cards though and see what we can find for you guys. Okay, so in your situation that we're going on to, what could you be doing? What's something that you could have? So like I said, the recipe, right? So this is kind of, what do we need to add to the recipe? What more could we add to the recipe to make this into something that's truly delicious, so to speak? So let's see. So more of this is needed. And I get the Eight of Swords. Alright, more of this is needed. The Eight of Swords is a really interesting card. So the Eight of Swords is putting us into a situation that we put ourselves into and we can get out of whenever we want. That's sort of the whole thing, is that we can get out of this situation whenever we want, whenever we feel that it's necessary to move on, we can just leave. The Eight of Swords is someone who is tied up, but they've put themselves there. So when it says more of this is needed, I think more of us setting ourselves free from self-limiting beliefs or thoughts or feelings, I think that's something we need to have. So to me, this could look like someone who has habitual thoughts of, maybe I'm in this situation, I'm not happy, but I deserve it, right? Or someone who is focusing on trying to better themselves, but I feel like there could be some self-sabotage in there as well. So when it comes to love, when it comes to these situations, we need to look at how we would be in relationships. What do we bring to a relationship? How are we with ourselves? Because that's ultimately going to be what we bring to the relationship, right? So the extra part, the extra special sauce to your love recipe right here, we are looking at you guys focusing on letting yourselves go, letting go of those limiting beliefs and setting yourselves free, so to speak, Aquarius. I hope that makes sense, because that's definitely what I'm getting here, is that that's going to bring us a lot more happiness in this situation. So let's see what else we have here. So, and again, these two cards can be very similar that we're looking at. So we have someone who's lost in choice, right? Someone who's grounded but can be somewhat lost in choice. And then we have another person here who is bound by their own doing, right? So to me, both of these can actually be the same thing. They can be very similar. We're looking at one where the person's going off in a direction, they don't know where it is. And I feel like that's sort of like if you took control of the wheel and you allowed things to happen the way you wanted them to happen, and we had a clear, concise way to go, that would be something good. But with this card here, there tends to be a feeling of self-entrapment. So be on the lookout for that. Self-sabotage could be something that's coming to a theater near you. So just be really careful with that. And by the way, it's rated R, so there's a lot of swearing in the self-sabotage movie. Alright, so again, we're looking at the recipe, right? So what's that extra special? Not special. I might need to delete the whole video and just stop. I don't know what special means, but I'm there. Okay, so you have the right amount of this. In this recipe that we're cooking up, you guys already have the right amount of this spice. So what is this spice? I have a paper here with my questions, so what is this spice that you guys already have enough of? And it's this right here, searching and solitude. So you guys already have enough of this spice. So this to me, when I see this, we're looking at someone who has gone within. We're looking at someone who has gone through the inner journey, someone who's thought a lot, someone who's spent a lot of time alone. And for us Aquariuses, because I have Aquarius in my chart too, so for us Aquariuses, this is something that we love to do. We love to be unique. We love to find answers to questions that possibly no one's asking, but boy, we're interested. And so to me, this is a very good card. So what do we already have? What's that special sauce we bring? Okay, and I'm going to say special sauce because I like the way that sounds. I don't know what it is. But I see this as being something where we bring the right amount of introspection into a relationship or into a situation that could lead to a relationship. We bring the right amount of questioning ourselves, our boundaries, our limits, and that's something that's very important. When it comes to self-discovery, Aquarius has this kind of mystique, this kind of power, and that is what you guys bring to the table. Okay, so this is a good card right here. The Hermit. Okay, so let's look at some of these other cards here. So far, the situation is we could possibly be dealing with a split in the road, a fork in the road, if you will, our own personal crossroads demon. And I say that because the sense of self-doubt can be very strong that we're dealing with right here. So the crossroads is an interesting place to be, but we can't stay there too long. We've already done the work. We don't need to do more of the work. We've already done the work. So why put ourselves into a situation where we have to keep beating our heads against a wall when there's a door about 2 inches to the right? Do you know what I mean? It's right there. There's a door. And there's a cute dog on the other side, and if you're allergic to dogs, there's a hairless cat. And I don't think you can be allergic to hairless cats, but I don't know. So I'm just saying. Alright. So this love situation needs less of this. So we're cooking up, we're doing our stuff. What can we add to this recipe to make it better than last time? What can we sort of lay off on? Is it too salty? Is it too spicy? Let's see. So I get the Knight of Cups. So we need less of this. We need less. The Knight of Cups is an interesting card. So I think we need less emotional fortitude. What that means is we need to let other people speak their mind and their emotions. We need to let other people we need to allow other people to have emotions. We need to allow other people to have a sense of expression around us and to feel comfortable. Emotions are they're a very fragile thing, but they're also a very powerful thing at the same time. So I want you guys to think of it like if you're having an emotion, you let yourself feel it. If someone else is having an emotion, do we squelch that? Do we try to calm that down and we allow ourselves to rise above it? Or do we move on in a way that allows us to feel like both parties are heard, right? So this is allowing others the chance to speak. This is allowing others a chance to express themselves. So what we need less of is us putting ourselves on a emotional pedestal where our emotions are right and others' emotions are wrong. I know as an Aquarius, that's something that can be very difficult for us to sort of get into that head or that mind space. So that's what I'm seeing here. So, and here's the interesting part, you guys. When we're looking at recipes, when we're looking at this kind of stuff, what can we change? What can we make better? And I feel like there are certain parts that we can change in our lives. Like, we can change, there's free will, there's all that good, juicy, gooey stuff, right? But then, there are things that we cannot change, and there are things that are meant to happen for whatever reason. And when those things come up, that's, that's just the interesting part of life, is that those things, those immutable parts of ourselves that would happen and would have to happen no matter what, that's interesting. We still have free will, but our free will in those situations is that we get to see how we act in that situation. Okay, so what can you change in this situation? What is something you can change and you can be empowered by? And it is the Justice card. So this could be a Libra card. This could be... Now, this doesn't mean you can change a Libra, because I'm pretty sure that's impossible. But it does mean that you guys... Maybe we can change the tide of justice. There could be something going on here in a love battle. This could actually be, for some of you, waiting for a divorce to be finalized so that you can move on into a new kind of love, is what I could see here. Another thing that we could change is that we just allow people to be who they are. And that doesn't necessarily allow the situation to change for the person, but that allows the situation to change for you. You're letting go of a situation, and you're allowing yourself to be like, okay, I can handle this the way it is, and there's no other way for me to view it. So what can you change? You can change your perception of a situation where it looks like you couldn't change it at all. If that makes any sense, you guys, that's what I'm talking about. And if that doesn't make sense, that's still what I'm talking about. I just need to get better at talking. So let's move on to this next one here. So what do you guys need to accept? What is the one thing you guys need to focus on and accept in this situation? And we get the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, so another one right here. Libra, in this love situation especially, we're looking at letting ourselves not always be right. So when I see these two cards right here, this is a very intellect card, but it's reversed, and this is an emotional card, but it's upright. So when I see these two cards right here, it's allowing other people to speak and other people to be who they are and not trying to change them. I know for Aquarius personally, again, because it's in my chart, I know it's hard to allow other people the ability to speak or allow other people the ability to express their thoughts freely, because there's a sense of self that's tied up in our thoughts. And if other people are challenging those thoughts, it makes it hard for us to hold on to our own, possibly. So we tend to dominate conversations, emotions, or ways of thinking, or intellectual battles, debates, arguments, whatever it happens to be, so that we can feel superior. There's a way of thinking here, like I was saying, this card here, putting ourselves into a bubble, okay, putting ourselves into a situation where we need to let go of these follies, of these ways of being, and we need to allow ourselves to focus on being free, and to just sort of allow ourselves to allow others to express themselves. That's strongly what I'm getting from this, you guys, is that we're smart. We're incredibly smart. We got this going on, but we need to allow others to speak. We need to allow other people to do that, because that's where this kind of strong energy comes from, is allowing others to speak and be, and realize that their way of speaking and being and feeling doesn't invalidate our ways of speaking and feeling and being. Okay, so where are things heading, especially in this love situation that we're talking about here? Where are things heading for Aquarius? And we get the Page of Swords. See, there's a lot of swords energy. So where things are heading is that we could be looking at changing in a way that feels immature. We could be looking at... This, to me, is we're changing for the better, but we're going to be inexperienced, okay? We're looking at changing. Maybe we're taking a course on... For some reason, I'm feeling like there's a course on psychology for some of you, or there's just a course in learning, and we're putting ourselves in a vulnerable state. But when we learn, when we allow ourselves to learn, it allows us a sense of just letting go and humbling ourselves, because especially for an Aquarius, when we're learning, we're growing, but it's hard to allow ourselves to be put in that position because we like to feel like we know it all. So that's something that I resonate with. It's hard for me, but that's something I'm feeling. So final thoughts here, and this will go at the end of these videos from now on, is that we're going to look at some psychic situations here. I'm feeling like there are some strong Sagittarius vibes for sure, and it didn't come up in the reading, but there's definitely some Sagittarius vibes. There's something here with fire energy, and I feel like it's hard for us to make a choice when it comes to this fire energy. Fire and air sort of make an updraft. It makes it hard to move in the direction we want to go in. So there could be a sense of feeling trapped and moving in a direction that we don't feel like we have any say in. So this could be narcissistic energy situation with a Sagittarius, but I do feel that there's a Sagittarius, and I do feel that they are pulling very, very hard on our sense of self. It's almost like a soul pulling, right? It's like a pulling in a way where it feels like something is calling to us. We don't know what it is, but the Sagittarius is assuring us that it's something we need. And what I'm telling you guys right now is that for this Sagittarius, this fire energy individual, that you need to remain strong, and you need to actually see where you're coming from and what your sense of self actually looks like, okay? Because this person, I feel like, has a very strong tendency to mute you. Sort of how we were reading the situation where there could be, on your part, there could be emotional dominance. I do feel like there could be someone else who's possibly initiating this in your relationship with them as well. It could be a love interest, but it could also just be a third party, possibly a family member. But this Sagittarius energy is coming in and sort of squashing the joy, because they're telling you what to do. And I keep getting a sense of schooling, psychology, medical school, becoming a doctor, something where we're focusing on higher education, and I feel like someone is pushing against us pretty strongly in this. So, yeah, and again, for the love reading part, we need to allow ourselves to allow others to be free in their sense of self-expression. And that's a huge thing. Once you've accomplished that, okay, once Aquarius has accomplished that, then we will be looking at this energy right here. And this is the Lover's card, okay? This is a really good card to have. And actually, what I was going to do was this. So, give me just a second here. So, we take the Lover's card, and I'm going to draw another card to go next to it. Okay, so we have the Lovers in reverse, and we have the Nine of Coins in reverse. Okay, these two cards right here, we're going to be looking at a sense of, okay, a lot of energy coming in here, so I'm just trying to focus. Ooh, okay, man, Spirit's really talking. Okay, so we're looking at a lot of energy coming in, and it could be somewhat congested energy because these two are in reverse. When I see the Lover's card and I see the Nine of Coins in reverse, I'm seeing a huge sense of, I felt this way before, but it's been a while, okay? And I feel like we're not going to trust this feeling. I feel like there's going to be this initial thing of feeling like someone has come into our lives, okay? It's not the Sagittarius I was talking about before. This feels like an earth sign. And obviously the Nine of Coins, but this feels like an earth sign. So Taurus or Virgo, not so much Capricorn. Does that make sense, you guys? There could be Capricorn, but I'm feeling like definitely more Taurus or Virgo. And when I see this, it's a feeling that you have not felt in a long time. And it's a good feeling, but I don't feel like you're going to trust it at first. So the thing that we can do moving forward, moving on, is we need to allow ourselves to trust in the process. There's this sense of holding on. And it's like we're holding on to a bar of soap. And what happens when you hold on to a bar of soap is that it eventually, squishes out of your hands. And that's not good, right? Like, you want to have that bar of soap. I don't know what you use it for. Clean yourself. those little dirty spots, I don't know. But this to me is allowing ourselves and others to express and to feel and not mitigate, not judge. We need to focus on allowing self-expression for others and for ourselves to take place. So this will happen with this earth sign, but before that happens with the earth sign, we need and we have to focus on self-expression for ourselves and for others, okay? So that's what we're looking at, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this love reading, and if you guys could please subscribe and like the video, that would help out a ton. You guys have been awesome with that, and I would really appreciate it if you're not subscribed to subscribe and like the video, and let me know if this describes your situation. Comment down below, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you very much. Bye.